What Arsenal's perfect transfer window would look like. While the club do not have Champions League football to offer, as it looked like they would heading into the final weeks of the season, Arsenal will still be targeting a busy summer of activity. A small squad caught up with Mikel Arteta and his players towards the end of the campaign, as did injuries to big players, and providing more depth in key positions will be a priority this transfer window. There are also a number of players returning to the Emirates after loan spells away, many of them unlikely to have long-term futures with the Gunners. Here's what a perfect summer would look like for Arsenal. Out, Leno, Runarsson. Aaron Ramsdale enjoyed a superb first season in North London and quickly cemented himself as first choice in goal. A move for Matt Turner from New England Revolution was confirmed earlier this season and he will arrive later in the summer, providing backup to Ramsdale and potentially getting minutes in the Europa League and Cup competitions. The Gunners will therefore be keen to raise some funds by selling Bernd Leno, who is set to leave the club in the coming weeks, though it is unlikely to be a significant fee with the German, having just 12 months left on his contract. Arsenal should also be looking to move Alex Runarsson on when he returns from his loan spell at Old Leuven. In, Hickey, Spence out, Bellerin, Mary, Cedric Arteta's preferred back four of Takehiro Tomiyasu, Ben White, Gabriel, and Kieran Tierney looked incredibly solid when all of them were fit. Unfortunately for the Gunners, that became an increasingly rare occurrence. Tierney in particular has struggled with injury problems and Nuno Tavares struggled when coming in to replace him, so a new left back is likely to be on the wishlist. Aaron Hickey impressed at Bologna this season and would provide strong competition for his fellow Scot. The Gunners should also look for a backup to Tomiyasu, with the drop-off to Cedric Soares too great, and Jed Spence would be an appealing option. William Saliba will surely be given a chance in North London as he returns from Marseille, providing some much-needed depth in the centre of defence, and the 21-year-old will hope to win Arteta over in pre-season. Hector Bellerin is desperate to stay at Real Betis and Arsenal should try to find a permanent deal for the right back, while Pablo Mari is another player that appears to have no future in North London, and the club need to move on. In, Tielemans, Zinchenko out, Torreira, Maitland-Niles. Youri Tielemans looks to be both available and keen to move this summer, with the Belgian capable of providing something Arsenal have struggled with in recent seasons, goals from midfield. The 25-year-old has 6 goals and 4 assists in each of his last 2 Premier League campaigns and would add a much-needed threat to the Gunners. That gives Tielemans a slight edge over Yves Bissouma, who has also been linked with a move to the Emirates and would still be an extremely positive signing for Arteta. Arsenal are keen on Alexander Zinchenko, and while he has played his football at Manchester City as a left-back, it's in midfield where his technical ability would be most crucial for the Gunners. The opportunity to play regularly in midfield could be an appealing one for Zinchenko and he would immediately strengthen Arsenal's options in the middle of the park. Ainsley Maitland-Niles struggled at Roma in the second half of the season and appears unlikely to stay in Italy. The Gunners would be wise to cash in on the 24-year-old while they can. Lucas Torreira has spent the last 2 years out on loan, and Arsenal must again try to find a permanent buyer. In, Jesus, Gnabry out, Pepe, Nelson. Arsenal are far from alone in pushing to sign Gabriel Jesus this summer, with Tottenham also believed to be keen on the Brazilian. As with Zinchenko, Arsenal will hope that Arteta's time working with the player will help their attempts to get a deal done. While Edin Nketiah impressed in the last few weeks of the season, a new first-choice striker is required, and Jesus would be a superb addition with his work rate and ability to play all across the front line. The Gunners have also been linked with Gianluca Scamacca and Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but it would perhaps be wiser to use Nketiah as backup and focus those funds on a new winger. Serge Gnabry would certainly be a dream signing should he make a return to North London. The 26-year-old has a year left on his contract at Bayern Munich and negotiations have stalled over a new deal. Whether Arsenal can swoop in and meet his demands is another matter. It is clear that Arteta does not trust Nicolas Pepe, and the Gunners should try to find a buyer for the winger, though they will not get anywhere near the £72 million they paid 3 years ago. Reiss Nelson may get some first-team minutes at the club next season, particularly if no wide player is signed, but this summer could be the time for Arsenal to sell.